Sir, put your hands at top right. Hands! Get your hands out of your pocket! Drop it! Drop it!
have been surrounding this vehicle several times, but the Volvo continues to evade them. So they've been continuing again northbound. They recently crossed Little York, heading up north towards the Beltway. Please be careful. We know people start commuting in the next couple of minutes, so be aware that this is going to be an issue for those of you in the 59 northbound area, though it is moving up pretty quickly. Seems like they've slowed down slightly since we started monitoring them, and you can see the sheriff's vehicle there on the upper left side of your screen trying to get a little bit ahead of that vehicle. We have not been told why they are chasing this person. We have not been told yet what was happening prior to this that led to this chase, whether there's any sort of a warrant or any criminal activity suspected here. But we do know that this chase has been going on for several minutes, started at least 20 minutes ago. So we have been following this now 15, 20 minutes ago, we'll say. And again, this is northbound on 59, heading up towards the Beltway. We're waiting on confirmation from the Houston Police Department. But we do know that this began in Chambers County, that they've been pursuing them. And right now they're on 59 North, just passing West Mount Houston, moving pretty quickly through the area. The good news here, you're not seeing a lot of other vehicles. We haven't seen them weaving through too much traffic, though obviously with rush hour beginning soon and them heading up towards the Beltway, that's going to become problematic pretty quickly if they don't get this person off the road. Again, this is 59 North, heading up into Northeast Houston. If you're in the Humble area, if you're commuting up into that area, please be aware that this might cause some road closures. We don't know how this is going to end. The average police chase in Houston lasts about 5 minutes. We don't typically have to talk about them, but we wanted to alert you that this is going to be a concern for people who are commuting. So you can see there on the lanes heading northbound, it's just the police and sheriff vehicles. Right now you see just police vehicles. We've seen also Harris County vehicles. This began with Chambers County. You see that car just sort of turn towards that officer's vehicle there. Okay, it looks like they're coming up on some traffic. So there's an 18-wheeler. It's that silver Volvo that we're following. We have not, again, gotten any confirmation from law enforcement as to why this chase began or who is in that vehicle. We don't know anything about the driver quite yet, but we're waiting for details as they continue this chase. But a warning to those of you heading out onto the roads, 59 northbound, just past West Mount Houston is where you're going to see this moving up towards the Beltway, moving north. So please be careful as you're heading out right now. You may see some change-ups in the traffic patterns as they try to keep this individual away from the commute and away from other people. So there's a sheriff's office vehicle. We believe that's Harris County Sheriff's Office taking part in this chase. It is not the fastest chase that we've ever seen. Certainly not. You can see regular traffic at about the same speed, but this has been going on since about 3:28 that we started hearing them calling in reports. And interestingly, you see that sheriff's vehicle is exiting off of 59. So this is, again, continuing northbound, just passing West Mount Houston recently, heading up towards the Beltway, heading north into the Humble area. Please be careful if you're heading out. So there's one of the police vehicles, police helicopters following the scene. And you can see they have officer vehicles taking a couple different routes, circling. So you've got two vehicles coming in there on the upper side of your screen. That silver Volvo is what we're watching. Please, again, be careful. We're about to start the commute. If you're heading northbound on 59, or if you join in on 59 anywhere throughout the area north of 610 up near the Beltway, that's where this is all heading. You can see very little traffic in the area at this point. We haven't been told that they're blocking traffic per se, but it's certainly, we have not seen many vehicles involved or around this car. So hopefully they'll be able to stop this person before the driver gets off of the highway. It's usually when they're off the highway going through intersections that we see these come to a rather dangerous end. Hopefully they'll be able to stop them. So again, this is Harris County Sheriff's Office and Houston Police following a vehicle that began with a chase in Chambers County. So Chambers County Police were the first to initiate this, and then it seems to have been passed off to Harris County and Houston Police. Again, northbound, heading up towards the Beltway right now. We have Department of Public Safety. That was the helicopter that you just saw. So they're monitoring this situation, trying to make sure that this vehicle does not pose a threat to any of us as we're heading out on the roads. But if you have any friends or family who are up near 59 and the Beltway, if they're up in the Humble area, please give them a heads up that this is heading up in that direction towards Deerbrook Mall. They're not all the way there yet. Again, North Harris County, please be on alert. This chase has been going on since 3:28, so it's a pretty long chase for what we typically see in the Houston area. We don't typically see them have to pursue someone for this long, and our hope is that they stay on the highway. They're able to get this driver, but you can see now plenty of people out there in the early part of the commute. Things are going to be picking up in the next 30 minutes, and we really hope that I'm not going to have to be here talking to you 30 minutes from now about this. I hope they're able to get this person off the road. So we have not seen any spike strips. We have not seen any other intervention besides them just following at this point, but that's not to say that didn't happen prior. We haven't gotten a look inside the vehicle. Sometimes we can get a close-up look, but at this point we don't know anything about the driver, whether there are any passengers, whether there's any contraband. Again, we have not been told why this chase began. We just know that it began about 20 minutes ago in Chambers County and has been going on now for just about 20 minutes. A couple other vehicles on the roadway there. Please be aware if you see or hear sirens or any police vehicles, please be careful. So you see that's Rankin Road. They're moving up northbound, continuing in that direction. And it's interesting, don't see as many sheriff's vehicles or police vehicles. So see that, looks like there's two very similar vehicles. It's a silver Volvo that we're following, and I believe it's this one with the white in the back window that we've been following now for some time. Oh, there's three silver Volvos looking at this point. But please be careful. Again, this is 59 northbound, heading up towards Humble. Right near Rankin Road is where they just passed. You're going to see police vehicles from the city of Houston, also sheriff's office vehicles from Harris County pursuing this driver who began in Chambers County, being pursued by Chambers County police. Again, we are seeing, those are some of the police vehicles there. Excuse me. Seeing a number of agencies now getting involved in this chase. Department of Public Safety is in the air. You're going to see their helicopter. So if you hear a helicopter, if you're up in this area, that's likely what you're hearing between our news helicopters and the Department of Public Safety trying to keep an eye on this vehicle. We don't know where this person is trying to go. We don't know if they're going to be getting off the highway. Hopefully they'll be able to stop them before they get off the highway, as it's usually at the intersections that we see these things turn pretty dangerous and people get hurt. So starting to see more cars on the road. Again, we're coming up on 4 o'clock here, and it's that silver vehicle there, about right there on the left side of your screen, passing that red car that is being pursued. And you can see several law enforcement vehicles behind them. There have been quite a few switching in and out, it seems. We're trying to get a look there in the car. Not much to really see through that window, but at least a driver. It looks like there's some stuff in the back seat. Unclear whether there's any passengers in the vehicle. Again, we're waiting on confirmation as to why this chase began, whether that's a stolen vehicle or whether there was any criminal activity that led to this chase. But our big concern is, of course, for rush hour. So as we're heading into a Friday evening, we know a lot of people get on the roads a little bit early. This is heading northbound into the Humble area. They've passed Rankin Road and heading up even further now. So please be careful. If you're on Beltway 8, you may see some closures as they're shutting that down for this to pass through. Hopefully we will not see any further issues, but they've passed up past Beltway 8, so hopefully traffic on the Beltway is going to be just fine. This is getting up towards Deerbrook Mall. This is getting up in the Ramblewood area. If you're up near again, in Kingwood, if you're up near the bayou there, please be careful as we're watching this vehicle. Again, getting a bit of a closer look. We obviously know there's a driver. We do not know who else is in the vehicle. We do not know why this chase began, just that it began around 3:30. So we're coming up on 20 minutes of this chase being underway. They were westbound on the East Freeway, I-10, past the Beltway. Again, Chambers County Police pulled back, and the Harris County Sheriff's Office and the Houston Police Department took over from there. Department of Public Safety also involved. Really trying to get a look inside that vehicle. I can't really tell what any of that is in the back. I'm just hoping that there aren't any passengers. Obviously, the fewer people involved, the safer we're all going to be, just by a matter of fewer people at risk of being hurt. Again, this vehicle has stayed primarily on the highway, or entirely on the highway as far as we've seen so far that we've been following this chase, but we are starting to see more vehicles on the roads as we get into rush hour. So please be careful. If you hear sirens, if you see sirens, if you see other vehicles getting off the roadways or pulling to the side, please allow that because we want to make sure everyone stays safe. Again, this is up passing Deerbrook Mall, heading up on the East X Freeway. Please be careful. For those of you up in the Porter area, this is heading your direction, so please be careful. Hopefully not getting up into the New Caney area. Obviously, Grand Parkway begins up there relatively soon, so we'll see whether this driver makes any different decision on what roadway to take. But so far, this driver has not been very aggressive towards the police vehicles that have been following it. Has not made any strange moves as far as we've seen. We still are waiting on confirmation as to why they are pursuing this vehicle, who is inside, and whether there's any further risk. But we have not been told that there's any risk outside of the obvious dangers of a police chase. If you're just joining us, we are breaking in with this chase that's been going on for 20 minutes now, northbound on 59. Right now they're near FM 1960, continuing northbound towards the New Caney area. They passed from 610 all the way up. This has been going on for some time. Our Skyfox camera live zoomed in on the vehicle they're pursuing. It's this silver Volvo, though we have no additional information on who's inside and what police are concerned about why this chase started. Average police chase, again, in Houston lasts 5 minutes. You rarely hear about them. So when we do have a situation like this, we always want to make sure that those of you up in this area are aware so that you can be careful on the roadways. Again, this is northbound 59 heading up towards Porter, just passing the Deerbrook Mall and heading in that direction. So there's one of the law enforcement vehicles sort of coming up there on the side, picking up speed, but sort of dropping back there. Again, we've seen law enforcement vehicles exit off. It looks like a couple new ones came on. There's the Department of Public Safety helicopter following that vehicle, and you can see here a lot more traffic and stopped cars. So it looks like police have stopped the roadways and threading the needle. That vehicle makes it through. Waiting to see what the next move is here. Law enforcement, again, multiple agencies involved in this chase, from the Department of Public Safety to Harris County to the Houston Police Department. We have been trying to get a look inside the vehicle, unable to tell whether there's one person or multiple inside, but you can see the driver's arm there and the driver pulling a little bit away, possibly taking an exit at this point. Okay, emergency vehicle slowing down, turning over. Okay, so they're coming to a stop. This vehicle perhaps pulling to the side of the road. Unclear. We're trying to get a peek around this exit ramp there, the HOV ramp. So, all right, so there's our silver Volvo. That's the vehicle they've been pursuing. Clearly coming to a stop or slowing down significantly compared to where we've been. All right, picking up a little bit of speed. Again, this is northbound, right near 1960 on 59, heading northbound. That vehicle slowly coming to the edge of the roadway. Been pursued for at least 20 minutes. That is a very long time to be trying to evade law enforcement. And so you can see here that vehicle choosing to be on the shoulder, possibly to avoid traffic. It's unclear what exit that is. We have them checking on whether that was an exit off of 59 or not. But this is up towards the Porter area. If you're Timberlane Acres in that area, please be careful. You might hear sirens. You'll likely see law enforcement blocking some roadways in and around where this is happening as they're trying to find a way to get this person to stop. Unclear, again, what's going on. Unclear why they're pursuing this vehicle. So we're waiting to see. Looks like law enforcement there again trying to slow him down and continuing to follow him there. He's slowing down quite a bit from what we've been seeing here. If you're just joining us, again, this is a chase that began in Chambers County around 3:28, 3:30-ish. So we're coming up on 23 minutes, 25 minutes or so of this chase, which went from relatively high speeds to a bit of a crawl at this point. Waiting to hear whether there's any threat, whether there's any issue here, or whether this was a traffic stop and someone just tried to leave. But we are waiting to see what's going on. All right, so you see vehicles there surrounding this silver Volvo. Looks like an exit lane, possibly getting off the highway at this point. Be great if this person surrendered and let this end prior to rush hour really getting underway. So we're on an exit ramp at this point. Again, this was on 59 northbound up near the 494, up near the loop. And there we go. You've got law enforcement out on the ground. Okay. So the driver has stopped. You've got law and chase is over. They now have the vehicle. You see that officer speaking to the driver. Additional law enforcement walking onto the scene. Again, this is up 59 and the loop, and this driver choosing to continue their effort to evade police. Not a good idea by any means at this point. This driver making some interesting choices so far. We've watched this person not even take necessarily fast speeds. Usually we see chases go pretty quickly, but this person turning around. Oh no. Okay, so this person is now going the wrong direction, surrounded by law enforcement at this point. Keeps trying to get around their vehicles. Law enforcement has at least a dozen vehicles there that we've seen as part of this. This is a multi-agency pursuit at this point. Looks like the driver is off the highway, and it looks like a number of vehicles creating a barrier there. Okay, so now going into a bit of a side roadway around the side of a building. Okay, it's that silver Volvo. Again, if you're just joining us, this was a chase on 59 northbound that began in Chambers County, came in on I-10, and then ended up going north on 59. You can see that it looks like the tires are flat there on the side, so they must have been able to get those tires either with a spike strip or... Okay, this person's not going to be going anywhere very quickly at this point, so hopefully we're towards the end. Again, if you are just joining us, this is up off of 59, up near the loop, up near 494. Law enforcement running in, and they have the door open. Looks like they have... All right, law enforcement going in. There's the driver. They have the driver. Additional people coming onto the scene, and looks like bit of a struggle to get him out of the vehicle, him or her, whoever this is. We have not been told at this point why this person was being pursued, whether this was a search warrant or whether there was some type of incident, but we do know this has been going on for almost half an hour now, though now this chase coming to an end. This driver getting pulled from the vehicle. So there you go. There's the driver in that white T-shirt, black skirt, it seems. Looks like it's a woman. And law enforcement taking her into custody. All right, well, I'm glad to be able to report that this chase has officially ended. The threat to our commute officially over. So those of you who are up in the area near 59 North, up near the loop, up near 494, you are clear, and there should be no further threat, though they will obviously be on the scene of this incident for a minute just to collect some evidence, but it's off the roadway, so you're good to go. Please be careful out there. Again, this has been going on for about a 30-minute chase from Chambers County up 59 North, all the way up through Humble, all the way up towards Porter and New Caney. So you should be fine for your commute. Just make sure that you're keeping an eye out for law enforcement. And we will have more information on this individual and what was going on here as we get that confirmed from law enforcement for our news at 5. Again, I'm Caitlin Monty, and you've been watching this chase. We're glad to report that this is over. It looks like they're talking to...